Aaron Paul will not be returning as Powerplex in season 4 of Invincible. And according to him, the reason behind this is because the role was just too grueling on his psyche, and overall it was just too dark and depressing for him to want to come back, which I find very interesting. It seems that a lot of other people feel the same way because he literally plays a method addict for 5 seasons of Breaking Bad. And not only that, he plays someone who literally has multiple of their love interests die in some of the most horrible and brutal ways solely because of him and his presence. I mean, Jesse is one of the most tragic characters in TV and cinema history solely because of how he is written. So I have no idea how he had no problem doing that, but for some reason can't voice act as Powerplex and Invincible. And while Powerplex definitely does have an incredibly dark story, it is nowhere near the levels of Breaking Bad. It's also not half as well written, but I feel that could also be part of the reasoning that Aaron Paul had for not returning. At least Breaking Bad, you could argue, has some type of narrative point, especially with the journey that Jesse goes on during it. I mean, he starts as a zero and ends as the guy that literally chooses the outcome for what. He proves that not only is he not stupid and incredibly capable, but a genuinely kind and caring person that just put in an awful predicament. So I can definitely understand the complexity behind the role of Jesse that would make him want to participate in it regardless of the dark aspects connected. But regardless, this is definitely disappointing news as someone who is heavily anticipating season 4 of Invincible and also as a fan of Aaron Paul. But I feel like this isn't going to impact the show's next season that terribly. I mean, they're obviously just going to find someone else to voice him and recast the role, which means there will be even more budget that will go to the animation behind. And that is a problem that I feel like not too many people talked about in the show's last season, where it felt like they pretty much saved the entire budget for season 3 for the final fight between Invincible versus Conquest at the very end. And that fight is definitely amazing. I still remember it as one of my favorite moments on TV this year, if not my favorite moment. I would just like to see more of that riddled throughout season 4 rather than them just saving it all for the season finale, especially because season 4 of Invincible is set to have an original storyline that was not depicted in the comics involving Damian Darkblood and Invincible traveling to hell, something of which I have no idea still which direction they're going to go with. And those are things like that I think are really important about comic book adaptation, just doing things that will be able to keep the original comic book readers on their toes and give them new things to look forward to that would actually make them want, rather than just seeing their favorite moments from the comic televised. But I will be honest and say that I really don't give a fuck about Powerplex. I mean, sure, he has a dark story and it is sort of well written that he hates Invincible because of the fight that he had against Omni-Man in the season 1 finale. And at the very least, it does sort of connect the seasons narratively to one another. But his logic behind hating Mark is genuinely stupid, especially because he knows that Mark was trying to protect everyone in Chicago and not harm. He also knows that Mark was a kid at the time that he fought his dad and that he literally was being physically abused by him, which is another reason why I don't get why he chooses to vilify Mark, unless his reasoning is just the fact that Nolan is no longer on Earth and Mark is the only person he feels like he can point his finger. But regardless, there's not going to be any Aaron Paul in this one. I'm still definitely looking forward to season 4, mainly because of the inclusion of Drag, which has already been confirmed, and the first scenes introducing the Viltrumite. But either way, if you're excited for this, you can let me know by leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel if you're new here, because we have way more Invincible updates coming. I know this is a decently quick one, but I just wanted to give a couple thoughts about Aaron Paul not coming back for the next season, especially because he's involved in that super popular superhero game Dispatch, which I haven't played yet. So if you want to see me play that, you can let me know in the comments too. And ultimately, let me know if you're even upset about this, because I personally couldn't care less. Thank you for watching. I love and appreciate you all. Sun God signing out.